How do I tell if what my teen is experiencing is just normal teenage angst or if we've crossed the line into a mental health crisis? It's hard to tell. Let's walk and talk about it. My name is Sidell. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm an Inspired coach with the Inspired Consulting Group, specializing in parenting coaching, specifically supporting parents who have teens who are struggling with their mental health. I'm a parent of a teen who struggled through a mental health crisis. It's really hard. Teens are angsty anyway, just developmentally. It's very appropriate. They're going to be moody. They're going to change their sleep patterns. Like everything about the transition of going from a young child to an adult is a huge transition, and there's a lot going on in that brain and body and socially. So there is an element of teens just being teens. When does it turn into something that you need to be worried about? So there are some actual criteria that practitioners pay attention to or focus on. But before I go over this, I want to just be really clear. You know your child. If you have concerns and they aren't perfectly fitting into this box of criteria I'm about to go over with you, but you're concerned, then reach out. So there are many resources available. Your child's primary care provider is a great place to start, or a school counselor is a great place to start. But if you feel like something is just not okay, then trust your gut and follow up and reach out. Don't sit with that feeling alone. But here are some of the ways that professionals look at kind of making that determination if this is normal teen behavior or if we're maybe looking at a mental health. And it has to do with severity and time. And so, and changes. So if you see something like, we want to look at mood, we want to look at sleep patterns, eating patterns, social patterns. And if you see a change that is lasting for more than 2 weeks, that's kind of the criteria we look at, more than 2 weeks, that may be a concern. If you see major changes in patterns of how someone is responding or behaving or interacting, like if they were social butterfly and all of a sudden now they're holed up in their room, that would be really concerning. If someone had typically been a pretty good sleeper and all of a sudden they are now sleeping 20 hours a day or not sleeping at all, and this is going on for several days, 2 weeks really, then we want to be really concerned. And so it's looking at intensity, duration, and major changes. And our teens are going to experience a lot of changes, but they typically, they are who they are, and you're typically going to be able to kind of watch your child. They'll maybe be in a bad mood or get in an argument with a friend, and that will last, a couple days, and then they kind of go over it and then go back into their typical patterns. If they just aren't going back into their typical patterns, this is something to look out for. And also ask them, just ask them. Open the door to the conversation. Gosh, I noticed that you haven't been hanging out with your friends over the past week. Everything okay? What's going on? What's going on? How are you feeling? And maybe, they might have a very perfectly reasonable explanation, or maybe you have opened the door to a safe space that they'll be able to share their experience with you. It's hard, but trust your gut, you know your kids, and hang in there. I hope this helps. Have a great day.